before I hand it over to Smriti, let me introduce the guest today. We've got Saurabh Jain of SMC Global as well as Amit Bhuptani of Nirmal Bang Securities. Thank you to the both of you for taking the time. Smriti, we're talking about Bharti Airtel. I think the big surprise came on the ARPU number.
Right, yes. Good morning, Alex, and good morning to the guests and viewers as well. You're right, the stock is... let's go across to our guests. And Saurabh, welcome to the show. And you've seen the earnings. There's a positive, brokerages continue to remain positive on the stock. What is your sense for Bharti Airtel for the longer term?
I think longer term, from the long horizon, I think the stock looks good. I mean, the price correction is still market is looking forward to, and if that happens, then I think we'll be able to see higher margins and higher profitability. On the number side, they have added significant numbers of 4G and 5G customers. The premiumization have worked well. They have been able to add more postpaid subscribers. The bundle services also gain traction. The India business continues to witness strong momentum growth. So in that sense, I think if tariff increases does happen going forward, I think that will give a good boost to the profitability margins and the profitability.
Okay, fair point. Quick view, Amit, on the technicals as well. What levels to watch out for Bharti Airtel?
If you look at Bharti Airtel, the chart here overall looks on the range-bound session. The resistance zone for the counter is 1160.
On the number that's on your screen, that's on WhatsApp as well. The first question I will take is from Deepa, and she's asking about a stock that was listed not too long back. This is Flair Writing, but it's not had a very good run so far. In fact, she's bought at levels of 482. She's got 116 shares, and she's losing ground. She says she's losing about 33% odd. The question is to you, Saurabh, on the fundamentals. I guess we know that Q2 and Q3 for companies like Flair are not very strong. Q4 and Q1 are the stronger periods. But what does one have to bear in mind if you are holding a substantial portion and you're losing about 30%?
See, these IPOs have come at a time when the small cap and mid caps have gained strong traction, have seen strong momentum in the secondary markets, and the valuations were not that comfortable. But it is a IPO frenzy. A lot of money are chasing the new issues, and that is what we have seen in case of this company. So the stock has prices corrected because of the higher valuation. Now, seasonality factor does work in this industry. I think you have to wait for Q4 and first quarter earning. I think it is better to wait for 2-quarter earnings, because still the brand has a very good brand image, and the lot of market share also. Company enjoys good market share too. So in that sense, I think don't average your purchase, but stay put for the next 6 months.
All right. Next up, we have a question from Manjunath, and they're talking about Coal India. Now, we'll take a long and a short-term view on this because they haven't mentioned. So for Coal India, we've seen almost 100% gains in the share in the last 1 year, Saurabh, and the thermal power, or rather the coal sector, continues to remain positive in the sense there's more demand that's going to come, or the projections continue to remain that the demand continue to kind of say that the demand will grow in the coming years as well. So on that front, Coal India, is there more upside to the stock, and what is your sense of the sector as well?
See, on the operational front, it is expected that the numbers would continue to be good with the both in the volume, in terms of volume growth, and the price wise also. And moreover, one thing also, that what is happening in the market, a lot of re-rating is happening for the PSU stocks, and the valuations were clearly low for Coal India. We are seeing that we can say that the stock has jumped about 100%, but still, if you look at the valuations, they are still in comparison to many international companies also, they are on the lower side. So in that sense, I think it is better to hold the stock.
Okay, the next one that we'll take is. Okay, we're going to take a short-term question
as well for Coal India. Amit, how does it look on the charts, Coal India, and what are the key levels to watch out for in the stock?
Overall setup looks positive. Continuously, we are witnessing that the volumes are getting added on the monthly and the weekly basis. So,
okay, on the fundamentals though, Saurabh, what are you seeing with regard to Praj? Of course, the story was about the ethanol blending or the facilitation of ethanol blending. Now there's a conversation about biogas blending with CNG as well. What's your outlook, or what's your expectation of the outlook on this particular counter?
I think all the sugar companies are, seeing problem with respect to the ethanol. They are not getting the material from the FCI, and there is also learned to be a shortage of grains in the market. And next year, we don't know what will happen in the monsoon season. So the fortunes ties up with how the blending takes place in the country, and we have already seen re-rating in case of Praj industry. I mean, the valuations are on the higher side. The stock is trading close to 8-9 times to book value. So I think quite a lot is already priced in. In my sense, I think it is better to exit this stock.
All right, let's quickly take a view on Biocon as well. We've got Bimla Kukreja, who's writing in from New Delhi. Bimla, thanks so much for joining.
Next up, we're talking.
Sorry, I just want to very quickly take a fundamental view as well. He's trading with, he's holding on to gains, or a very quick view on Biocon. Should he hold on?
I think the numbers are improving. The September quarters, we saw significant improvement both on year-on-year and sequentially, and the valuations are on the lower side. So in that sense, I think it is a very old company, and things are operationally improving for the company. So in my sense, it is a good book.
All right, Saurabh, next counter that we're talking about is National Aluminium. This one's from Prasad, and they're from Mumbai, and they've already bought in the stock at 136 levels. The stock is currently a little bit above that. It's around 157, so a bit of a profit there. But should they continue holding on to it? What's your outlook for the sector, and particularly this counter as well?
I think all the metal companies' fortunes ties up with how the global economy pans out. In the US, we are seeing stronger economic data. Europe is also doing good. India is also doing good. The problem lies with the China. China recently, a big real estate company went for bankruptcy. So things there are not looking pretty. But if you are there in the metals for long term in the aluminium space, I think things are likely to get better. So for the very long term, I think more than a year or 2 years, if you stay, then you can easily make money. So in that sense, it is a hope.
All right, hold on, Nalco is a view from Saurabh. We have to slip into a very quick break, but Sushma is asking about Paytm, and I'm sure our viewers, perhaps, let's see how that pans out. But the most important question, Saurabh, is should investors hold on if they bought at higher levels, or should you even buy at these levels thinking that it's a good value to buy?
See, in the stock market, you tend to invest in the business and it's a possibility of growth going forward. Here, the business itself has been challenged, and that is what market is. That is why we are seeing stock cracking down badly. Previously, also there was some problem with respect to the lending, short-term lending by the Paytm, and now after this RBI statements, I mean the release, the business metric has been challenged. I think there is no point in chipping in when the stock price is cooling off, and in my sense, I think it is better to get out of this stock.
All right, fair point. Let's assets. Should they continue holding it for at least 2 years? Saurabh, in the short term, we're seeing concerns of Red Sea freight prices hiking, and in the longer term, there's this divestment at play in this particular counter. What's your sense for the next 2 years? Should they continue holding on to this one, or should they get out, considering they already have a considerable amount of profit in the stock?
See, this is the PSU we have seen that has never performed even in the good scenario, good business scenario. So I think the stock is largely, factoring in the divestment that government has planned, and that is why the stock prices have already moved up. So I think it is better to take some money off the top, from the table. I think it's better to book partial profits.
Okay, fair point. Suresh from Chalakudi in Kerala is asking about...
Let's take a long-term view first. Saurabh, Idea Forge and Dronacharya.
I think the recent number that came, Idea Forge, were kind of a disappointment. I think there was expectation of a good growth, but the company came out with the negative growth both in the bottom line and top line. So in that sense, I think you have to wait for this investment to get 55 over a period of time, because the business is good and the industry is expected to see growth. So for the long term, I think you can hold this company. And with respect to Dronacharya, I think it is quite rich on the valuation side. So I think it is better to exit.
Okay, fair point. Hemant is asking
the results. Saurabh, what's your view for longer term? Is it a good time to enter into the stock?
I don't think so. I think the things are not moving the way the company would like to. I mean, previously also we saw that the company went into the consolidation, then the growth came back, and we saw the stock prices moving up. And now with the RBI, some statements coming from the RBI, directives coming from the RBI, some business metrics have been challenged, and there is a lot of competition also that is coming in the way of the Bajaj Finance growth. So I think the stock is expected to underperform. I don't expect even the stock to give broader indices kind of a return. So in that sense, I think it is a.
Okay, Pratima is asking a question about energy stocks, and we've seen a few in the energy pack doing particularly well in the recent past. Amit, based on the charts, does anything stand out today to buy?
Counter that looks positive for me. First would be Inox Wind. Inox Wind seems to be on the positive front.
Should they hold on to the stock? That's the question. Saurabh, Dr. Reddy's, we've seen the results a couple of days ago. Profit expanded. But what's the sense for the longer term?
See, longer term sense is pretty fine. I mean, both the company did well both on the domestic market itself and the US market also. The management looks quite confident. Some new drugs are in the pipeline in which they are expected to gain traction. I think it is a kind of a portfolio stock. Hold for now.
Unfortunately, we're completely out of time on this particular edition of Ask Profit. So I'd like to thank both our experts, Saurabh as well as Amit, for joining in and answering all the questions that they did. Viewers, in case we weren't able to address your specific question, hopefully the ones that we've discussed on the show have benefited you in